Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 in our takeoff series. So in this one we're going to be moving from Civil 3D to Magnet. So we got our boundary, and if you missed the first video, go check that out first, but only check it out if you don't know how to create a boundary or a boundary from a hatch. All you need is a closed polyline to make this work. It doesn't have to be elevated, just a 2D polyline. So after you have that, you can make your way to Magnet. And once you got it there, we can start the process. So this video is going to be focused on the stripping of the existing grade. Because before you can do a proper takeoff, a dirt calculation, you're not going to want to include the topsoil because it's not usable. So in order to do this, we're going to be creating a boundary for stripping and applying that to our existing grade. So here's how we're going to do that. We are first going to see what kind of surfaces we got. So we're going to take a look at here's our existing grade. We got a pretty big existing grade for a small area. So we're not going to need all that. And let's take a look at our finished grade. Yeah, our finished grade just takes up this portion. So we're not going to want to strip this entire site, because if we want to get a stripping report, we're going to want to compare it to the existing grade stripped. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a boundary around our finished grade, and we don't have to trace it. Here's what we're going to do. So now we're going to take and we'll turn off our finished grade, and we'll go over to Surface, DTM Tools. Now before we do that, we have to create a layer, because if we don't have a layer, things are going to get messy real quick. So we're going to go over to View, Layers, and New, and we're going to call this stripping boundary, and I like to make it red to make it stand out. You can do whatever color you like, and we'll set that to active so we can see it when it pops up. Okay, now we're going to go to Surface, DTM Tools, and then we're going to create DTM boundary. Now we're going to do this from our finished grade, because our stripping is going to also be, our stripping boundary is going to be the same as our finished grade boundary. And we don't want it in the side lock layer. We're going to put that in its designated stripping boundary. And we can change this to, we'll just change this to, oops, we don't want it to be FG. We'll just do stripping boundary, and we'll put OK, and there it is. So now we got our stripping boundary, and I'm going to go ahead, go properties, by layer, so that way it's red. Okay, so now that we got this area, we can now do something with this. So what we're going to do is, first let's take a look in Surface Viewer at our existing grade. So we're going to go existing, and here we go. Here's kind of the existing grade, lay of the land, and we're going to now just do the stripping. It's very easy. All you have to do is come over to Surface, and we're going to do raise and lower DTM. We're going to go selected DTM and pick our existing grade. Now we're going to go with in boundary, making sure that we have the right one, and we're going to lower the DTM within that boundary, whatever we want. And now what's got to be careful is this is not in inches. Some things in Magnet are, some aren't. So this is in feet. So if we want to go down, 6 inches, it's going to be 0.5. But we're going to go ahead and do a whole foot, and we're going to treat the boundary as a break line. And what we want to do is create a new DTM. And we want to do this so we can compare it to the old DTM to get our full topsoil stripping report. So go ahead and press OK. Now you can see we got some where the differences are. So let's go take a look, at our new one. So it's going to be EG1. We want to rename that so it doesn't get confusing. but we just want to make sure that everything went and did what it was supposed to. And yep, we have a foot of topsoil stripped from our surface. So now we can finally get that report that we need, and also use this strip surface to compare to our subgrade once we get to that point. So let's go and compare these two surfaces. And to do that, all you have to do, well, first let's rename our surface so we don't get confused. We're gonna go EG1 and rename this to stripped surface. And that way we won't get confused. That happens way too easy. All right, so now that we got that, we can compare them, and we just simply go to compute. Now, we don't need to do a shaded map for this because it's just all going to be red. If you want to double check your work, we can do it that way, but there's no reason to do that. So our design is going to be our strip surface because that's what we're trying to get to. Our natural surface is existing grade. And we're just going to shut off this shaded for now. And we are not going to use a polygon boundary. We're going to use the design DTM boundary. Now you don't have to do it this way, but we're going to do it because I just want to do the whole site within the strips. I just want to get the plane cut. So that's what we're going to do. And we can see from this that we have a net of 5,086 cubic yards of cut. So really easy, quick information to get a very accurate, if you have a really good topo, a drone topo, or whatever the engineer, what you got. Really easy to do in Magnet. Just takes a couple minutes and then you got your report. And this is the first step to getting an accurate cut and fill. So in the next video of this series, we'll be looking at how to create that subgrade surface, and then we'll go from there. So thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if this helps you, and leave a like. Let me know how I can improve. I'm sure I can. Thanks again.